Well, that went well. Is that exactly as the offense is supposed to be? Run, pass, balance, time?
Yeah, I thought we executed in every way. I've kind of been telling you guys, for a little bit here, I think that's kind of the game we want to play, a complete game, from first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth. I thought everybody touched the ball. We were able to facilitate it to different guys. I thought our playmakers, like guys like DK, Tyler, they were exceptional today. Gerald made some nice catches. We converted on third downs. Rashaad Penny ran the ball. I mean, it was lights out. The offensive line was tremendous all night. They did some really good pressure looks and everything that we picked up in a great way. Ethan did a really good job up there up front and making sure that me and him were on the same page, and the guys blocked it up well. So we got the ball in the end zone a bunch. We were able to score quite often. We felt like one thing I wish we had even finished that last 5 minutes even better. I think that's where me being extra picky, just trying to find like how can we get even better than that. So, but I think we're always searching for the next best step, and I think we definitely took that today. That was huge for us.
Your guys' second possession after the 3-and-out, you converted on a couple third downs to go down and get the touchdown. Just how big was getting those third downs and staying on the field today?
Yeah, I mean, we converted. Gerald showed up on that one where he ran the end breaking route. We kind of looked to the right, looked to the right. Those guys kind of were open over there for a second because they covered it pretty well. Came back. Here comes Gerald. Boom, first down. Got the ball on the edge one of the times, and then next thing you know, we were able to get the ball in the end zone. I thought Shane called a great game. I thought he did a great job of dialing it up and getting us to the stuff that we needed to get to, and then I thought too, in key situations, they changed their coverages a ton. I mean, they were changing it up from cover 1 to 3 to 6 to 6 man to just cover 2, mixing it up, every different situation, and then they went zero. DK did a great job, I mean, on that zero look, and I was able to kind of, right before I got hit, just kind of place it up to him, and it was right where we needed it to be. It was beautiful, so couldn't have done that any better.
How did Freddie Swain get so wide open on that one play?
Yeah, that was a dialed up play that we kind of saw earlier in the week, that we could possibly hit. So, he does like such a great job in the run game, but he also does such a great job of reading the routes and understanding where he needs to be and the placement of where he needs to be. So I kind of looked right, kind of gave eyes away and came back to him. He was wide open. That was a beautiful play by him.
This is the first game you guys have played in a long time with no playoff implications. There maybe could have been potential for a letdown. Just what did it tell you about this team that you guys came out the way you did this week?
Well, I kind of told you guys earlier in the week, I think that, the standard of excellence, that's what we're searching for every day, and I think the thought process of our players and the character of guys that we've had, we knew that we weren't going to just give up and give in. That's not going to be allowed, and that's not in our nature. Obviously the season hasn't been what we wanted it to be, and I think it's been challenging in so many different ways. But I think to be able to answer the call and to be able to come in back at home, our last home game here, and to be able to play at such a high level was exciting for the fans, and our fans are the best fans in the world. To be able to do that for them, I think that was really, really special. And I thought, guys want to play great. Guys want to do all the things they want to do and dream of and everything else. And we're working at it every day. I thought this week of practice was we've had some really great weeks, but I thought with everything going on, I think it was one of our best weeks that we could possibly have, and that definitely showed up in so many different ways.
Russell, you were getting the crowd pumped up as you walked off the field. They were chanting your name. I know earlier in the week you said you hope this isn't your last game here, but you never know how things are going to work out. When you're walking off the field this game, what was going through your head maybe?
Yeah, I was just thinking about joy. I was thinking about our fans. I was thinking about just what a special moment just to be able to, win this game here at home for our fans and for them to feel that energy again. I felt like throughout the whole game, the crowd saw that energy and got to feel us and vice versa. And that was really special tonight. So, anytime you see those kids too, you always want to, they're screaming your name or whatever, to be able to give them a towel or sign their jersey. And those kind of special moments like that are always amazing. And, obviously I love the city. This has been such a special journey, and obviously to be able to win tonight was a great game.
When you wore a glove on your right hand today, it looked like what was sort of the impact of that, I guess?
Well, it was raining pretty hard today, and that. So, I was like, okay, well, I've been practicing with it. I've practiced with it before and never really done it in a game or whatever, but I don't think I needed it. But the second quarter, it was raining pretty hard consistently, and pregame it was too. So, I practiced in pregame with it, practiced without it, and it kind of mixed it up. And just whatever I'm going to do, I'm just going to go with it the whole game. So that's kind of how I was thinking about it.
run game is humming the way that it was today and the way it has the last 4 games, do you feel a difference in how the pass rush is on play action plays? Or does that vary by game?
It varies by game. It depends on the kind of players they have and their mentality and everything else in terms of are they just trying to rush up field every time or not. But I think that when you have that established running game and we're able to run the ball so physical like that, it wears those guys down on the other side, and I think that, for our play action game and all the things that we were able to do, we were really able to do everything just because I think that we were able to execute. We executed in every way today. I mean, I don't think there's maybe 1 or 2 plays that we could have done a little bit better and could have those, and then those 1 or 2 could have been touchdowns maybe, So, I think that we played a great football game, and that's what we needed today, and that's what we wanted to feel, and that's what we've been talking about. And like I said, I think Shane did a great job. I thought our line did a tremendous job up front in every way, from the run game to the pass game, and then when you see DK score 3 times, that's always a good thing for us, And you see Tyler get in the end zone, you see Rashaad get in there too. That was really awesome.
Russ, on Thursday you volunteered that you might not be back for next year. You knew that was going to cause national speculation. Why did you choose to do that?
I didn't choose to do that. I wasn't trying to cause anything, but I think the question was about Bobby and whatever, and we were talking about. Say again. What'd you say?
Was asked the day before.
Yeah, no, I think somebody mentioned Bobby and everything else, so we were talking about that. So I'm not going to get into all that. Listen, I think that, for me, my mission today was to be able to win the day, just win the journey, and so you can have any thoughts you want, but I'm grateful, man. You can't get me out of in a bad mood. I'm full of joy. I'm full of gratefulness. I'm full of just being blessed, man. So there, it's I'm not gonna waver off of that. I'm just grateful for just what we've been able to do today. It was really special. I thought that the guys played great. To feel good and to be out there again for our fans and what we were able to do today, it was really special. So, for the Seahawks win again, it's always a good thing.
Russell, what does it do to the offense when you get 71 plays?
Yeah, that was huge. To be able to get that many plays and to be able to be out there and to execute the way we wanted to. That was huge. The third downs were great. I thought that us running the ball was really efficient too as well. I thought throwing the ball, we were able to do every throw, everything that we wanted to do. Guys were making tremendous catches and tremendous plays. I thought one of the coolest plays was Tyler slipping down. They tried to disguise their coverage, and Tyler did a great job running down that left sideline for the big gain down the left side. That was sweet. We had some really special moments. We were, and I think that, we caught our groove today, and so hopefully, we got 1 game left. We go to travel down to Arizona. We always know that's a battle. They've been doing a great job all year, and we've been battling too. So we're looking forward to that challenge and that journey, and to be able to play down there and get to work again.
What do you make of this surge that Rashaad's had over the last 4 weeks?
Well, I think what you make of it is his talent level has been remarkable. I think, unfortunately, he's gone through so many tough times, and so many tough injuries. I think that's just been hard on him, and I think to sum it up, when you're healthy, when you're able to be out there and to overcome some of the stuff he's gone through, and just to continue to have those guys encourage him and us encourage him in the locker room, and him to go after it every day at practice. I mean, what a testimony! What a testimony to continue to have perseverance. I mean, he's had tremendous perseverance. I think that's been amazing. I think also too, I think when Adrian Peterson walks in the building, you get to see, Hall of Fame running back, run the football at practice and all that. It shows you, man, like, this is what it looks like, man, like, in every way, every day. They call him AD for a reason all day, and so, I noticed that, and I told you guys that story when I was at the Pro Bowl, and I think it was a walk-through practice, and he was running at full speed, and that's inspiring stuff, and so I think, first of all, it's a testament to his work ethic, his encouragement. I think our training room and everything that everybody's done to help him get there. And then also, too, just the guys and the energy around him. And I think the third part is being around great players like that. It always helps, too. So those 3 things, I think, have been evident.
Russ, another $2.7 million raised for cancer treatment and research. Just what you guys been able to do over the years with all that? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think that when I came here in Seattle, it was 2012, and I never forget getting here, and it was something that meant a lot to me, knowing that my dad passed away, you know, knowing that my dad always told me it's the hash mark in between of significance that you can leave on a place. And you always want to leave a place better. You always want to go to a place and make it better. You always want to encourage people. You always want to make people believe, you know, this and that. And so that's why I always kind of went to hospital rooms. My mom, you know, was a nurse and was an ER nurse and did so many different things. And so for me, you know, I've seen my dad pass away in a hospital room when the line went flat. And so for me, I understand what it's like to lose family members, to lose loved ones, and all that. So, so I don't mean to get too emotional, but I just think that you know, when you get to go into a hospital room, now having 3 kids, for me and Sierra, to be able to try to make a difference for people, you know, every day, you know, and just try to inspire. And I always say, you know, sports and music are the 2 most entertaining things in the world. And to be able to live life with C and to be able to give back and to give a little glimpse of hope is what life's really all about. And I believe that God's given me so much ability, but also so much opportunity to serve. And I just thank God every day that I get to serve and to give back and to help. And that's what's been probably the coolest part of just the journey, is to be able to make a difference for people and to see kids walk in with cancer and then to be able to help raise funds or to be able to encourage them and give them a word of why not you or whatever it may be, give them that glimpse of hope. And I think that to see guys like Milton Wright walk out of the hospital room when they only had 12 to 18 hours left to live, and to know that because of T-cell therapy and what our foundation was able to do with Why Not You Foundation and so many different things, to encourage them and say, hey, why not you? You can overcome this. I told him a story about my dad, and next thing you know, he's like, yeah, shoot, you know, why not me? He gets up and goes, walks down the hallway, gets T-cell therapy. 2 weeks later, no more cancer. That's why I believe. That's why I believe. That's why I do it, because somebody else is going to be affected by it. And I think that for me and Sierra, you know, we've seen that happen over and over and over again, the success rate of it all. We've seen, like I said, kids walk out of a hospital room with no more cancer and no more problems. And we've also lost some too. But the belief and the hope that somebody else is going to be encouraged, and that maybe, just maybe, if there's a small chance, maybe they get to walk out of that hospital room, it's worth every second, every minute, every hour, every day to wake up with that kind of encouragement and love. And I think that what we're supposed to do when much is given, much is required, we're supposed to love and supposed to serve. And so I'm grateful that I get to do it. I'm grateful I get to do it with Sierra every time, and so many other amazing people in our foundation, Why Not You Foundation. I'm grateful for our school, Why Not You Academy, and just, you know, we went to the school the other day. I think it was 3 weeks ago or so. The weeks kind of collide nowadays, but you know, and just to be able to give to those kids and to know that, you know, they're dreaming and it's happening for them, and they're reaching for the stars, and just like me and Sierra used to, you know, and you know, it's a special thing. So I think that's what, you know, to be able to go win games and to do all this amazing stuff and to do some cool things, and you know, in your lifetime, your sports career, that's awesome. That's what I dream about every day and wake up for every day. But the other part of it that makes it even much better is that God chose me to do that and to give me opportunity to encourage and so many others, and hopefully I can encourage somebody else. So, you know, you can't say enough about the teachers at Why Not You Academy and all these schools around us, and that teach our young kids, and you know, teaching them to overcome with all the things going on with COVID and much and more. And then you think about the nurses and the doctors at Seattle Children's Hospital right down the road. I mean, you know, they're the true heroes, and these kids are true heroes. So I'm just grateful that our foundation, Why Not You Foundation, is able to make a difference like that for $2.7 million today, and just to be able to, it takes a community, it takes a village, it takes amazing people, it takes people that want to dream with you. And so why not you? Why not us? You know, and so that's been cool.
How big are those connections a factor on off the field connections?
Say it one more time, Gary.
How big a factor are those off the field connections here in Seattle to where you envision your career ending and going?
You know, I think that, you know, for me, you know, I take every day just one day at a time. You know, my favorite scripture is, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Verse 34 says, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow has enough worry in itself. And that's how I've always been. I think for me, obviously the city has been everything to me. You know, this has been a special place, and it's always going to be forever a special place for me. So, you know, I've told you guys my goals, my visions, my thoughts, and everything else. And so, you know, I hope that it all gets to collide together and get to do it together, and you know, hopefully we can do everything that I've ever dreamed of and we've ever dreamed of together. So that would be the goal.
I know you didn't want to talk about the future too much, but with your no trade, you do affect whether you're here or not next year. So do you expect to be a Seahawk in 2026?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I hope so. You know, I hope that's the case. You know, and you know, it take one day at a time. And today was really about our team today, and that's what I'm going to focus on today. But it was special today, you know. And but yeah, you know, that's my hope. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to everybody. Go Hawks. Okay, see you guys. Thank you so much.